Hello, social media friends, family, and strangers. Good to see you again. This is Beata Seweryn-Reid, and I'm here with a special episode of Meaningful Conversations. Usually, I come on Tuesdays at noon, but today is a very special day because I have very special guest, Kathy Basil. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. Thank you
How
so
are
much for
you?
having me, Beata. This is a delight to be able to join you and your guests today.
Absolutely, it's our pleasure because you are special. You do very special things to empower women, especially. But when you empower women, you empower everyone because we have families, we have friends, and we influence them. It's like a ripple effect. Yes. So
Absolutely.
tell us, I know that you are a healer, you are transformational coach, you do so many things. You created this beautiful online interview series that we're gonna mention later on. But now tell us who you are and how do you transform your clients' lives.
Yeah, thank you very much again. So I'm Kathy Basil. I created my company called The Vitality Code, and it's truly about helping us to find that spark of vitality within us. I believe that that's our natural state of being. And for, so many reasons, we have built reasons and blocks, those inner blocks against that natural flow of vitality and aliveness that's available to us any moment of the day. And so it's truly just a process by which we can unpeel those things that don't allow you to shine your inner authentic self. So I work with women. I'm a women's empowerment coach. A lot of this is around energy. So I do energy work and emotional release work with the emotion code. But working with women, especially, I'm excited about the days that we live in now because consciousness is rising. It's the time for women to own our power and step into a divine feminine calling. So there's a shift that's happening in the role for us women. A lot of us are having that little calling within, and for us to help to get quiet, listen to that intuition of ours, because we always have that North Star calling us forward to something bigger and better. And there's so many roles, so many ways in which we're listening and living life by other people's terms, or helping everybody else before we help ourselves. And now it's time to turn those tables, ladies. It's time for us to serve ourselves from the overflow of our own self-care.
I have to stop you here because you said something very important. It's time to start to help ourselves. It's time to start to serve ourselves. And it takes me to what I saw on your website when first time I was searching who this Kathy is and what she does. I saw your statement. You said everything you desire is within you. And since we are talking about vitality today, is it what you mean? And what is vitality? How we can find it in us, since everything is in us? And you say now, everything is in now, right now. So how do we reach out?
And truly, this past year has been such a gift. It's been such an upsetment, to the status quo, which is maybe exactly the friction that we require to understand what it is we truly want. And that word, like you said, vitality, what is that? A lot of times we're talking, the world out there, we're talking in terms of, I want good health. But health is defined as kind of like a mediocre, like you're not sick kind of a thing. To me,
I'm sorry to stop you here, but when I hear vitality and we talk with people, they always think about physical health.
Yes.
So what else is that?
Yeah, exactly. And you hit it right on the nail. Is vitality is when we are attuned to recognizing that we are bigger than we know. We are more powerful than we know. There's actually, we've heard that saying before, and we kind of slough it off as trite, that we're spiritual beings in a human body at right now. But I like to think of, this body. Yes, we take care of it. And the very first thing starts with getting a vision of what it is, of who you are here to experience, that bigger self. We all have that calling, and your soul has a desire. There's a soul blueprint that we are here to step into fully. And truly, rather than trying to lose the weight, or get into the shape, improve the physical health. The physical body is just our transport system for this lifetime. And so when we first align with what our soul's blueprint is, our purpose, our meaning, that is the spark in which brings us fully alive. So there's a divine calling on our life. When we align with that calling, when we have the confidence to know that we are enough and overcome some of the pervasive limiting thoughts that we have, especially as women, I'm not enough, I'm not lovable, I'm not, I'm just not deserving to. A lot of us even have, this past year, it's been some deep karmic wounding is coming up. And the awesomeness of that is that it's coming up to be healed. And this shift right now, when we can sit with what it is that's coming up, allow that to melt away. It's an alchemic process. It's just like when you're making a horseshoe and you put it into the fire. This past year has been the fire to melt away the impurities, keeping us from that beautiful, perfect silver horseshoe, or the jewel underneath. So we are in the process of revealing that. And when we can step back and remember the bigger picture of what this all is, so that we understand, it's like, wow, you know what? There've been some really depressing moments. There've been some times of disconnection, some heart-wrenching, not being able to be together with the ones we love. It's like all those moments of contrast help us get really, really clear on what it is that we want. And all these elements that when you begin to identify those things that have wounded you this past year, wow, what's really important to me is connection in a very deep and intimate way. That's one of the primary foundations that I teach about vitality is not that, yes, the food is amazing. We can heal so much with food. Movement is essential. Our life, our bodies are made for movement. We must move all the time. And, again, this past year, a little challenging. So just a little bit reminder. But again, when we are in service to that bigger, higher vision, the movement, the diet, those choices become super easy when we begin to nourish ourselves from the inside out, first honoring that dream, then honoring our self-confidence, our deservingness of who we are as women, as individuals, as a change maker that we came here to be. Because I think we all have that notion within. It's time to nourish that. The little pilot light is burning, ladies. Let's give yourself permission to shine that light.
That is so true. And you mentioned change makers. Yes, this show is all about change makers. I showcase change makers because without change makers, nothing will change. We will stay where we are. And what is worse than staying where you are if you are not happy with it? So you said so many great things, and the vitality, explain what is vitality. And we mentioned, like you mentioned, that it's not necessarily just the physical part, not just the body. And what is more even interesting for me, following your work, you created the vitality code. So what are, and you promise to reveal all the secrets that you have about your life, because you live fully, you live joyfully, and you also promote this bold living, like living with 100% happiness. So what are some of the biggest barriers to live fully, happy, and with joy?
Yeah, I created the vitality code. So I've got a circle that has 9 dimensions that go into nurturing our vitality. And it starts from the inside out of, in fact, I don't know if this is going to show up backwards or if it's, does that read right for you?
That's right. Yeah.
So ladies, we've got to start with that notion of self-love. And this is airing right at the end of the year. We've got this big full moon. We literally are in a transition stage into the age of Aquarius. And this full moon in particular, there is an opening, like crappy past year, lots of contrast happening. Right now, there's a passageway for us to open our hearts, put down those barriers everywhere that you thought you had to be safe, finding our worth externally by helping everybody before we help ourselves. This is an opportunity to open your heart to love yourself. If nothing else, take some time. I did one time a journaling exercise once a day for 30 days of just what does it mean, that notion of self-love. And it's amazing because we haven't given ourselves permission in life to do that. But now's the time. But truly, I'm going to narrow this down to just 3 things, just for the sake of time here. The very first one, if you can imagine 3 circles. So the first one is vision. I want you, and kind of going back to that calling on your life, this vision that you've been gifted for this lifetime, that your soul chose before you popped into this time and space reality here. Your soul knows exactly what it's here to do. And when you take the time, and again, it's that time of getting quiet, those practices such as meditation and journaling, that time to open up your heart space to hear. Oftentimes we're so busy doing, trying to prove externally. Hear what it is that's you're being called to do. And I know you know it's in there. Take that time, give yourself permission to truly flesh out what's the vision you want for your life. What are you here to, the calling? And get clear on every aspect of your life. What do you want your body to be like, your relationships to be like? We've had the contrast and greater clarity. What do you want your money flows to be like? How, are you stuck in a job that's been good up until now? And
Right.
yeah, we're just at a choice point. You get to choose today, starting moment to moment you have within you to listen to that calling on your life and begin to make the steps towards that. So the first one is vision.
Okay, it's a vision, and I want to stop here because you said that you use journaling and you speak my language, girl, because journaling is all what I'm about. Do you have any favorite prompt or question that you like to use with your clients when you journal, when you start journaling, or related to the vision?
Yeah, actually, what I do is take people through a visualization to meet their future self. I call it futurescaping. So we go through, and you can just do this through for yourself. But futurescaping is to visit yourself 3 years from now, the you who is fully realized. And it's amazing because when you give yourself permission to do that little space travel, it's very vivid. You know exactly who you are, what it feels like, what the environment is like, who's in your life, like what's overflowing from your heart, and get that picture. And what we do is create our life almost from a vibrational standpoint. So that person is within you right now, and she is going to be there in your body. Allow your body to give you sensory perceptions. This is a future that doesn't exist right in the here and now, but your body knows that when things are, it's almost like that game we used to play when you were a kid. You're getting hot, you're getting cold. It's like if you're feeling, and that's what depression is. There's so much depression right now, depressing what your soul is trying to express. So when we can get out of the shame factor of what depression is and just sit with that, like, oh, interesting. I feel stuck. I'm procrastinating. Like, what's underneath that? And truly, there's something that's not in alignment with what it is that you know to be true for yourself. So that's what it's all about, is peeling away and again, that alchemy.
Yeah, and you just said about depression. It's so true. And younger and younger people are getting depressed. Everyone is getting depressed because what is going on. And I remember Bob Proctor, who taught us that depression is actually an anger turned inward. And when you turn this anger inward, because maybe you feel that you don't have control over your life, it's going to stay there. And it's what Kathy is saying about the stuck emotions that if you don't release. And you gave already beautiful examples of meditation, visualization, journaling. Is there any other tool that you use for releasing emotions?
Yeah, absolutely. I use one, it's called The Emotion Code, and it was a book, and highly recommend this book for everyone, written by Bradley Nelson. And it's a super simple technique of identifying, using a little bit of body testing. And there's different ways that we can do the muscle testing techniques to identify the trapped emotions. All too often what happens, and that's kind of the second pillar. So we went from vision. The next one is releasing, and again, that alchemic vision. If you're thinking about a silversmith, we want to melt away all the impurities. So the impurities would be that woundedness that we picked up along the lines when we were kids. And it's truly just almost like a biological thing. Our brains are not developed enough. Up until the age of 8 or 9, we're in a lower vibrational stage where we're picking up everything around us. We're soaking it up like sponges. So all the things, the struggles you may have seen your parents doing, or and the meanings that we gave those situations. And that's the clear thing. We at some point in time made a declaration based on what we were experiencing at that point in time. And here's the superpower is that nothing has meaning other than the meaning you give to it. So
amen.
yeah, and that's what, journaling makes that clear of, like, wow, here's something I made that mean back then. The simple question, what else can I make this mean? Does that serve me? I like to think like we're going on a trip. We're going to our trip to visit our future self, to become that future self. Does that old belief serve me, or does it not? It's either one or the other, and we don't have to judge it anymore as, shameful. It's like, okay, whatever mistakes we've had in the past, we've all got those. It doesn't have to continue to define us. So who do you want to define yourself as starting today? You can write this out, get it clear. Recognize as soon as you begin to make those big visions, you'll oftentimes come up with a list of like, whoa, here's all the reasons that I can't do that. Who am I? Am I going to be an imposter? Like a lot of people, I'm sure, listening to this,
Right.
the change makers in us, we all, ladies, people out there, this world needs some change. And oftentimes we'll go to like, who am I to incite this change? And that imposter syndrome and the fear of being visible. It's like this year coming up it's going to be a little rocky. The change is happening. Change isn't always smooth. And you find that resilience when you get clear on that vision, that bigger self that's looking to be expressed, understanding the bigger perspective of what's happening. Like, this is a ripple in time. This challenge that I'm going through, this depression I'm experiencing at this moment. Don't say I am depressed. The biggest, most powerful words are I am. So when you hear yourself, catch yourself saying something like I am anything, I am depressed, just say, oh no, I'm experiencing depression. Ask what's underneath that. What's really asking to be expressed. And
what is the story? Yes. What is the story behind that I'm keeping telling myself?
Yeah.
Powerful.
So check out the Motion Code book. It's super easy. I love putting tools into people's hands because we are so lucky to be living right now when consciousness is raising, and we can cut those karmic cords faster than ever before. And one of the things I like to do when I'm working with clients is a lot of this stuff is, it's inherited, like picked up when we're a child from our parents, but a lot of it is generational. That's coming up to be healed. Because it can. We wouldn't be gifted with that if it wasn't our time to heal it. So I like to imagine when you're doing work with people, or say you've got something, I'm going to keep picking on depression. So if you're feeling depression, ask, who does this belong to? And on a scale of 1 to 10, oftentimes you'll come up with like an 8 right away. I'm seeing that constantly right now. I'm feeling anxious. How much of that doesn't belong to me? It's an 8. Okay, we're all healers. We're all interconnected. I'm facilitating for other people. So imagine calling in. Anytime you clear something, you can impact up to 300,000 other people. So invite them into the room with you, whether they're souls that are long gone or the ones. Allow that to be brought into the room, and you release it on behalf of all. And it's such a powerful declaration. I'm doing this on behalf of all. And I just imagine all these souls that are going to be positively influenced, that wanted that clearing. Oh my gosh, that's been for eons. Like, yay.
Oh my goodness.
I'm brave enough to face this little dragon. It's a little teeny dragon. We made it to be so big. Allow that, the deepest wound to be this little dragon that we just like let go back to the light where it wanted to be all along. So there's no more efforting to do all this healing. It's just coming. And one of the things I like to say is that shift and healing can happen at the speed of awareness. So it's like, ask that question, get clear. Oh, here's my little dragon, and allow it to be released on behalf of all. And it's super powerful.
Wow. So the first step was vision, and we heard all this greatness, what we have to do to get there. What is the second step?
So the second step is to release all the blocks.
To release. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, no. We've kind of fleshed it out. Rumi has a great quote talking about love. He says, our task is not to seek for love, but to seek the ways in which we've created barriers within against it. And so that's what the release is. As you mentioned, all the stories, all the beliefs, all the trapped emotions. Literally, we're putting that, and think about our society, man. We have not been given permission to feel emotion, like to experience emotion. Like, oh, God forbid, it's shameful to say that you're anxious or you're depressed or whatever. Those are all messages. And when we don't allow ourselves to feel them fully, we put them in little nooks and crannies in our bodies. And over time, we end up with this big pack of emotional garbage. Each instance is probably pretty insignificant, but over time, I mean, we're now got decades of residual buildup, and this shit gets pretty heavy. And
that's right.
We've been picking up everybody else's poop too. So now we got this monster poop bag, and it's like, oh, guess what? The Mother Earth is looking for contributions of energy. She's a little bit smarter than we are. She doesn't judge that stuff as good or bad. Give the poop to her. She takes it as fertilizer and uses it for new growth. So I think that's another thing that we as healers do, is that we don't want to let it go because we think it's going to ricochet out and hurt somebody else. It's like, Mother Earth says, yeah, give it to me. I'll take it. So contribute it to the earth. I like just take it. If you've got anxiety, you're not focused or something, just think about pulling all the energy, all the poop, and just contribute it to the earth. And she's saying, thank you.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. And I have a quick question, because again, I've seen it in one of your interviews or solo videos. I'm not sure. You were presenting quick releasing technique. You were putting the magnet to your face. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that's what the emotion code is. And let's just say, so we're energetic beings. Think about acupuncture. We have meridians, which are sort of like the highways of how energy runs through our body. The governing meridian is the main meridian, running from chin over the head all the way back down to our coccyx back there. Using a simple magnet, setting the intention. So it's almost like prayer and the power of intention, the power of visualization. When we understand that we've got a seed of something, I'm going to choose abandonment, say. It's very coming up a lot right now because we're all divided. So that issue of abandonment, you can take that emotion, kind of go back to, like, where did that first come in? It's like, oh, pretty easy to understand. That was my story from a long time ago. Parents, divorce, those kinds of things, very common. Take a simple magnet, and by running it over your head like this with a simple release statement, and here's how it goes: with love and intention, I release this trapped emotion of abandonment and everything it represents through all time and space, all dimensions and all bodies. And you do that a total of 3 times, the release statement 3 times. Just allow it to be as simple as that. Let it go. Let it go. And that's
Can you repeat that statement, please?
Yes, with love and intention, I release the trapped emotion of, put it out there, abandonment and everything it represents.
Wow.
Because it's just a word. We're choosing the word abandonment, but we're allowing it to capture everything that went along with that storyline. I love abandonment, and I've got to be tough, and I've got to go it alone. Now I can't depend on other people. And there's this cosmic shift. And everything it represents through all time and space. So we can go back to generations. A lot of this stuff has been passed on, and people, like alcoholic tendencies, those addictive type things oftentimes are seedlings that were passed down. And it could be generations, like 4 generations, 8 generations. I've seen dozens of generations back where it's trickled down. And you'll see that and it sometimes will jump a generation. So maybe not every generation had that. But if you're struggling with something that feels bigger than you, what if it is? What if you feel like you can't overcome it on your own? What if it wasn't ever yours? So you go back as the healer, go back and just say, okay, where did this begin? And I'm going to be the one brave enough now with the tools that we have to let this go and heal this lineage. And the cool part is now I don't pass it down to my kids, because these kids got enough on their plate.
Absolutely. And I honor you for saying that, because I feel like a lot of us and our kids, they just carry not their own poop, what you said before. It's not their baggage, and they are carried around, we carry it around, and it's not really serving.
Yeah.
All right. So there was vision, release,
Yeah.
second step. What is the secret third step?
So the secret third step is to nurture. And again, this goes back to recognizing that we are deserving, that we are worthy, that it's safe to shine your light, and just begin, like, you become what you habitually experience. So if you're having the ticky tickies in the back of your head that life isn't safe, or that I've been abandoned and I've got to go it alone, just think about all the energy that's using. Put that stuff down with the release part, and now begin to nurture of just the opposite of what it is your soul truly wants. So, I get to collaborate with others. I get to understand that this is a divine calling of my life. I'm not the one doing it. I'm the channel, the vessel through which this is happening, and begin to make practices. I have a morning practice. I call it my sacred sanctuary. And that's a time when I spend time in meditation and journaling. I spend a lot of time out in nature. It's a great way, to ground. Come up with whatever it is for you. Get your vision. Like right now, people are looking at vision boards. I'm doing vision board workshops with people to get that clarity. Understand who that future self is, that vibrational you, and find a way to plug into that energy every single day. And sometimes it takes several times a day. Use that technology. There's great apps out there. I've got one that I use is called I Am, and it pops up with these amazing affirmations over the course of the day in random time slots with these wonderful affirmations. But I use that as a time, as a reminder to tap into my future self. Who is the future me that is abundant? And I'm doing retreats around the world, and I'm helping, thousands of people now instead of just hundreds. Like, what does that me look like? And again, the body will calibrate to that. So the nurturing is just nurturing that vibrational essence within. And again, understanding that we get to be the vessel. So I think a lot of times we stop ourselves at procrastination is because we're thinking that we're the ones. The ego self is like, can I do this? I've got this big dream, like, am I the one? And no, you're not the one. this bigger divine essential self is the one doing it. And when we put our focus on how we connect with other people, what is the service that you are being to the other person? People are in need right now, so it's easier for us to get out of our own way, that ego self saying, do I have enough? You absolutely have enough to begin with where you are right now, to begin gifting your gifts and talents to another human. And that's what brings us fully alive. When we're in contribution, when we're in connection with that spiritual aspect of ourselves, that's what vitality is.
Wow. And it all circles back to releasing these emotions that you are talking about and the stories, and basically taking care of yourself, because everything what you desire is in you now. Wow, that was great. And I love that you use all this practical knowledge with us. You just gave us some tools so we can use it, especially now when we are walking into New Year. Oh my gosh, 2 days? Yes, no, 2 days left probably, yeah, or 1 day, 2 days. And okay, so what is the best way for people to find out more about you, to connect with you, where we can find you online?
Yeah, so my website is thevitalitycode.com. And as you mentioned, I've got the speaker series that I created that you were so awesome on. Thank you for sharing your light. And this is what it's all about, people, is just to collaborate. We give, we take, we all shine, we all rise up together. So my speaker series is called Limitless Women Rising. It's a once a month thing where I feature brilliant people like Beata. And the other thing is, so I've always got different things happening there. So check out thevitalitycode.com. La Femme Salon, 10 weeks to find your fire, freedom, and fulfillment is my signature program, which is about creating this alchemic little chamber for us to come and review that old stuff and just let it go. Let it go. It's our time. Get clear on who you want to be. We are so truly blessed to live at this time right now.
Absolutely. So the vitalitycode.com is the best way to find more about you and connect with you. And I want to encourage everyone to check this website, also sign up for the Limitless Women Rising. Yes, because it's where actually, Kathy, she brings speakers that can empower you, that give you also tools that can help you to move on and get unstuck and unleashed from all the stories, all the creepy thoughts that we really put on ourselves and leave, and it's not necessary. So I'm speaking on January 1st. So please go to thevitalitycode.com and sign up and give me a feedback. Am I good? Because there's 4 more ladies. So check and compare don't compare, just take the knowledge, because there is, oh my gosh, it's already started on the 28th. Yes.
Yes.
So it's already released. Sign up, listen, share, because you never know who might need that kind of message. And like Kathy said, there's a lot of depression, the sadness, and emotions that we don't really know how to handle. And it doesn't need to be that difficult, and you don't have to do it on your own. We are here for you, change makers. Kathy, thank you so very much for being here with us, and I hope you will be back, because you have so much more to share.
There's a couple more. Awesome. And thank you for shedding your light in the world. That's what it's all about.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Everyone who just joined us, well, we are here for one more second. Do you have any question? I forgot to ask. If you have any question to Kathy, ask now. If not, connect through her website. You can also find her on Facebook, I believe, and ask her directly. Ask me. And remember, everything what you desire is within you, and you can reach out to it now. Don't wait. Waiting is not going to change anything. Thank you so very much. I don't see any questions. So please, again, spread the message, share that video with your friends and family, and let them know that they are not alone. Oh, we have Christine Jones. Very helpful. Thank you. Thank you so much. We had Clifton. We had my sister straight from Poland. Thank you so much for being here with us. And again, I'm so thankful for all of you. Thankful for you, Kathy, for being here today with me. And until the next time, Happy New Year if I don't see you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.